Hi, I'm Paly and welcome to Guitardomness, your online resource for guitar and musician techniques. Today's session I'm going to be looking at taking that percussive strumming technique, the bluegrass chop I introduced in one of my previous videos, and introduce to you a drum kit sound, or beat strumming. The effect is this. So by contrast, if I were to play that without the beat drum, this is what we would have. So the reason why I developed this technique was because I love playing acoustic guitar in live sessions, and certainly there's lots of great guitarists out there. I'm going to have a bunch of links below this video who do amazing things just using their fingertips, and certainly one of my most popular YouTube videos has been the However, I found that during live sessions, especially when you don't have that luxury of being plugged in, especially with lots of musicians, you are struggling to be heard. And with large groups, when you have violins and banjos and saxophones, there's not really a chance of you cutting through if you're just doing a lot of finger picking or finger tapping. You need the volume through the pick, as opposed to... Even though I'm going to use the technique I have expressed and have shown within both the other videos, so please go and watch them, the two-hand tap, where I'm using the top part of the guitar body, and the bluegrass chop or percussive strum part 1. So let's break the technique down. Now, without any double tracking, I'm not using my foot to cheat or anything. This is purely your strumming hand technique exercise. So I'm going to do a simple 1, 2, 3, 4 beat. And I'm going to break down the movement and the drum sound. So the simple one is the kick drum sound on its own, again using the top part of the body, and you're just literally dipping down in that kind of motion, landing on that part of your wrist. The trickier one is actually playing a note together with that movement. Now when you're slapping, it was quite easy to do because you're naturally moving down. However, when you're strumming, your motions are actually more up and down. So in order to do the downward stroke, you're actually going to flick. So instead of just doing a downward motion like that, you're going to flick across. So what you're actually doing in slow motion is, as you're coming down, you're raking across the strings and hitting the guitar body. And I've found the best way to get the best sound is to try and bounce that. So lastly, just to share with you one little tip, especially if you do get the chance to plug your guitar in, your acoustic guitar. Now, not all of them have the capability of picking up all the tones from the guitar body like. In which case, you might need to speak to the sound engineer, get them to understand where you're coming from, and also maybe even mic yourself up. A lot of country and bluegrass players actually use real mics rather than plugging them directly straight in. And that's pretty much it. So like I broke down with the other two-hand tap and the other percussive strum technique, it's all about figuring out where in your strumming pattern you can fit these tones in. So as I said, as an acoustic guitarist, you will get to love this. It's a very unusual technique and it's worth pursuing, because from that point onwards you'll have both finger picking to strumming, beat strumming. So one activity and exercise I think just to get you going is, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now to groove in. which case I hope you enjoyed that. Please take the time to get used to the technique. It's well worth it. Have a great time and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Matt Otten. I play jazz guitar and I want to tell you something about learning jazz. It's not easy to get started with jazz, especially because a lot of books and lessons will give you a lot of theory about scales, modes, extended chords and all that, which is all useful. But learning all that, which is a tough enough job already, still doesn't make you a good jazz player. Just playing the correct scales does not produce good music automatically. Instead, using only some basic theory and knowing how to make the most of that in a creative and musical way, that will get you quite far. To sound good and convincing, you have to believe what you play and hear it in your head. And to really improvise, you need to develop some creative tools and skills to help you build and shape your solo into real music, instead of just playing scales up and down. Now, based on my own experience in playing and teaching, I have created a few products to help you on this path to learning to play jazz with natural feeling. The CD Jazz Exercises explains the basics of improvisation and gets you started by doing exercises at different levels, progressing from very basic improvisation skills to playing a solo over chord changes. It contains explanations, backing tracks, from slow to fast, and many examples which are played and written in standard notation as well as tabs, plus a fretboard visualization solos on the fretboard. Now, in addition to this CD, there are 2 CDs available with extensive solos with notation and tab, and backing tracks and explanations. One is focused on contemporary smooth jazz, it's called the Smooth Jazz Refill. And the other is focused on straight ahead, mainstream and some Latin jazz, it's called the Old Jazz Refill. Now, the Jazz Exercises and Refill CDs are mainly focused on jazz guitar soloing. If you want to learn a bit of everything, that is, soloing, jazz chords, accompanying and playing particular rhythms, playing walking bass, etc., then check the DVD called Loop Fun. 10 chord loops are played and explained on video. I explain how to play the chords, how to vary the chords, use different chord shapes, how to play certain rhythms, how to play walking bass. F-sharp 7, plus 5, which means there's a D in it. So. And then for each loop I discuss extensively how to solo over these loops. For each of the 10 lessons there are, in addition to the lesson video, 2 fretboard videos of an easy and an advanced solo showing the details. Now, there's a lot more information and samples on my website, so please check it out on www.mattotten.com, and I hope you'll start playing soon.
Hi there everybody, welcome to Guitar in 5 Minutes. My name is Chris Huff and I'm here today to teach you how to play this extremely exciting, cool and rewarding instrument known as the guitar. You know, most people believe that learning how to play the guitar is too difficult. It's too time consuming, it's way too tricky for somebody like them. Does this sound like you? They just don't have the right musical background, and etc., etc. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can learn how to play the guitar, no matter what your age or background. And if you follow my simple system, you most certainly will learn how to play the guitar in just 5 minutes per day. The secret to learning how to play the guitar is that there is no secret. It follows the same fundamental rules as delivering a serve in tennis, learning how to drive a golf ball 250 yards, or mastering the backstroke in swimming. the keys are repetition and muscle memory. It has nothing to do with the length of your practice session when you're first getting started. I'll repeat that. Learning how to play the guitar from scratch successfully has nothing to do with the length of your practice session when you're first getting started. Now, of course, if you want to be Hendrix and you want to play in the big leagues, you will need to put the 10,000 hours required to become a virtuoso. But my guess is that most of you want to learn enough just to be a little bit dangerous. You want to impress your friends and family. You want to impress that certain special someone who's been bugging you to learn their favorite song on that guitar, gathering dust in the corner. So if you do want to be the next Hendrix, you're still going to need to start from the same place, with repetition and muscle memory as your strategy for learning. And this could be accomplished by working on the fundamentals as little as 5 minutes per day. So you might be asking, what can I do to get started? Well, the first thing you can do is sign up for our email list. You'll receive our free monthly newsletter which will expose you to some of the greatest guitar players of all time. We'll pass on information about subjects you might not be aware of, such as tuning and changing strings. And you'll also receive a copy of our free ebook, How to Let a Guitar Choose You, which is about selecting the right instrument. The second thing you can do is sign up for our 12-week course. You'll receive then a PDF in your email box once a week with 7 5-minute lessons, so a week's worth of lessons. These lessons will have links to video files, which will show you exactly how to execute your practice sessions, and you'll also receive an occasional freebie tip and informational PDF along the way in addition to the lessons. The third thing is that you can go like our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/guitarin5minutes, the number 5. And there you can interact with other guitar players from around the world. You can keep up with the latest happenings in Guitar in 5 Minutes news and in the guitar world in general. So don't delay, act now, and we look forward to seeing you in the woodshed. So for Guitar in 5 Minutes, I'm Chris Huff, and remember, the best day to practice is today. Thanks so much for stopping by.